The dry bones coming back to life that we read about in Ezekiel 37 is not literal, it's a metaphor or prophetic speech, showing the Most High's promise to resurrect his people, the ones he scattered throughout the nations. And here's a couple verses about the scattering, but there are many throughout prophecy. The dry bones coming back to life is a future event. He says he will put his spirit in them and bring them from death to life. And this is spiritual death, not literal. So I'm not going to read all of 37, but we can know this by a few verses. Ezekiel 37 verse 11, and he said to me, Son of man, these bones are all of the house of Israel. See, they say, our bones are dry, our expectancy has perished, and we ourselves have been cut off. So who was cut off for their disobedience? The house of Israel. And who is the house of Israel? That would be the house of Jacob, because Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So the house of Israel are the tribes that were cut off due to their disobedience. So the dry bones that he's going to bring back to spiritual life is the tribes that were cut off. Now, as I said, I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but let's read verse 19. Say to them, thus says the Master Most High, see, I am taking the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his companions, and I shall give them unto him with the stick of Yehudah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. So he's going to restore all the tribes back together. They will be one. Verse 21, and speak to them, thus says the Master Most High, see, I am taking the children of Israel from among the nations, wherever they have gone, and shall gather them from all around, and I shall bring them into their land. So the descendants of the house of Israel, the house of Jacob, the tribes, were scattered amongst all the nations. Their descendants were scattered, and we are all out there still to this day. And I shall make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel, and one sovereign shall be sovereign over them all, and let them no longer be two nations, and let them no longer be divided into two reigns. And they shall no longer defile themselves with their idols, nor with their disgusting matters, nor with any of their transgressions, and I shall save them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned, and I shall cleanse them. And they shall be my people, and I be their Elohim. While Dawid, which Joshua is the house of David, my servant is sovereign over them, and they shall all have one shepherd, and walk in my right rulings, and guard my laws, and shall do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given to Jacob, my servant, where your fathers dwelt, and they shall dwell in it, they and their children and their children's children forever, and my servant David be their prince forever. So he will gather us, and we will all be back in the land again that was originally given to the tribes. And Joshua will be our prince forever. And I shall make a covenant of peace with them, an everlasting covenant. It is with them, and I shall place them and increase them, and shall place my set-apart place in their midst forever. So as we read the word, let's remember that not everything is literal. Some is prophetic, metaphors, parables, and illustrations. And in fact, Joshua himself spoke in parables. As we see here in Mark chapter 4, verse 33, and with many such parables he was speaking to them the word as they were able to hear. And he was not speaking to them without parables. And when they were alone, he explained all to his taught ones. And we see again in Matthew 13:34, Joshua said all this to the crowds in parables, and he did not speak to them without a parable. So many of the stories that we see our Messiah speaking about were parables. So that what was spoken by the prophet might be filled, saying, I shall open my mouth in parables, I shall pour forth what has been hidden from the foundation of the world. So I'll leave you with this, Proverbs 25, verse 2. It is the esteem of Elohim to hide a matter, and the esteem of sovereigns to search out a matter.